Hi, hello. Welcome to today's live scholarship question and answer session. Earlier on in 2020, before COVID-19 struck the world, Welsh Gymnastics launched a scholarship programme. So we invited coaches in our Olympic disciplines to apply for a place on our scholarship programme. Unfortunately, COVID-19 then hit the world, and in particular Wales. You would have thought perhaps everything would have gone on hold. Our programme manager, Holly Broad, who leads on the scholarship programme, was very quick in adapting the learning process and what she had in mind for the scholarship programme. Today we're joined by three of our participants, three of our scholarship coaches. We've got Laura Edwards from Olympus Gymnastics, we've got Ella Gaynor, and we've got Bradley Haysham from Barry YMCA. We also asked Sunny Browning from Swansea and Rachel Maguire from Llanelli to join us, but unfortunately they've had prior commitments, so were unable to join us. They've sent in their answers to the questions, so they will all be taken on board. Today we're going to ask 6 questions of our participants, and we'll get some feedback, and hopefully you'll get an insight as to what the programme's been about so far. So I'd like to start with question number 1, and if I could start with Bradley, please. Why did you apply? Why did you originally apply to the scholarship programme?
I think it was too good of an opportunity to turn down, and in order to further my knowledge and to learn further afield as well, so not just in Barry, in other clubs in Wales and even further afield in England.
Okay.
It would benefit me a lot.
Yeah, fab. Brilliant. So, Ella?
Yeah, the same thing really. Like it was such a good opportunity, and you get to like meet so many more new people, train in different gym environments as well, and just develop my coaching.
Okay, thank you. And then Laura?
Obviously the same as what both Bradley and Ella have said, but also it's more for me to be better for my gymnasts, my willingness to learn and develop my knowledge as a coach. It's primarily going to not just benefit me, but it's going to benefit my gymnasts. So it was such a good opportunity, so why not, really?
Yeah.
There's no question.
Oh, thank you, all three of you. I think there's a theme going on there, that you're all obviously committed coaches, and this is an amazing opportunity has presented itself to you, but you obviously took that, as Laura was saying, to make yourself a better coach for her gymnasts. And I think you'll probably find that was probably one of the contributing factors as to why you were chosen, because that has been recognised, and that was recognised in your application. So thank you. So I'll move on to question 2. So what's the main thing you've taken away from the programme so far? So if we can go back the other way, if we can start with you, Laura, if that's okay, if you don't mind.
So obviously it's been not what we probably originally planned when we had our first initial meetings with our national coaches and Holly, but we've had plenty of opportunities with workshops and webinars, which have been extremely helpful and interesting. So a lot of that has been taken onto the board initially through this period.
Yeah, and obviously not the start, as you say, not the start that you would have liked, or Holly or Welsh Gym would have liked, but I think you've all adapted really, really well. So yeah, thank you, Laura. And Ella, if you could answer the same question. So what's the main thing you've taken away so far from the programme?
So yeah, as Laura said, like the Zooms and all the webinars we've had, they've been really good. And I've learned it's not just about the gymnast development, it's like developing your personal coaching skills as well. And the fact that you're always learning, no matter what standard of coaching you can do, everything's like a learning circle.
Okay, I do like that learning circle. It's a continuous, ongoing journey, I suppose, as well. And then Bradley?
I've just mainly taken away that, you have to really work hard if you want to be the best you can be. And, you have to go looking for your answers, not always going to come to you. You have to go looking for it.
Yeah. And I think that's really important. I think when you start on your coaching journey, you think people are going to guide me, but you obviously get good mentors. But I think Bradley mentioned something really important there, that it is your responsibility as well, and I think that application itself was taking responsibility as for that part of that learning, and then the subsequent learning this comes in.
Definitely.
So yeah, thank you both. Thank all three of you, sorry. So question number 3, what are your plans for the next 6 months? And I know that's a bit of a strange question, because in Wales we're going back on Monday, hopefully. Oh, well, some clubs are going back. Those clubs that can are going back, but we've been given the go-ahead as of Monday. So your 6 months probably looks different now to when you were first offered the place on the programme. But I wonder if you've got any plans for the next 6 months. And can I start with Ella this time, please?
So hopefully, like, we'll be able to do face-to-face courses and meetings and things. So that would be quite good to do more of those. And then obviously learning more skills and meeting new people and things.
Okay, so is that I suppose the online learning's been ideal for what the situation that we find ourselves in, but that face-to-face, and I think especially from a coaching perspective, we do a lot of face-to-face, so that's something you'd quite like to get back to. Fabulous. And Bradley, please, the same question. What are your plans for the next 6 months?
For the next 6 months, unfortunately, most of the competitions later this year have been postponed or cancelled. So what I'm really aiming to do is look towards building for next year. Primarily, the Welsh Championships is the first major competition in our calendar next year. So the plan is to be prepared physically, start the physical preparation now, and then the skill development ready for that competition next year. Yeah,
it is a back to ground zero sort of position we find ourselves in now. And like I said earlier, you obviously all had plans before this, and we have to go back and start again, unfortunately. And I think what you're saying, Bradley, is a really good example of that, looking towards the future and building slowly and getting back to where you want to be. Thank you, Bradley. Thank you, Ella. And then Laura.
So yeah, in regards to like personally and in our gym, it's like Bradley said, it's all physical preparation, not just physical, it's also mental preparation of building these hours back up and getting the gymnasts prepared for competitions and everything again. But on a coach scholarship as well, it's also looking forward to getting communication with like our mentors, and like Ella said, the interactions face to face. And so there's a variety between in the gym and scholarship of combining them and seeing people really. So yeah.
Yeah, I think you mentioned something really important there, Laura, about the emotional and the psychological and the mental side of this time, and building that backup as well. So it's incorporating that into your plans now for the months ahead. So I think, yeah, I do agree that there is a need. We've enjoyed our online courses, yay, but we really do want to get back to that face-to-face contact with humans again. So thank you. So question number 4. So if I can go back to you, Bradley. So what's been your favourite part of the scholarship programme?
It would have to be running the men's artistic masterclass.
Right, yeah.
That was a good challenge and a good experience. And I'm confident that the boys who were involved in that session took something positive away from it.
I agree. And you, Ella and Laura, may not know that we run in once or twice a week, depending on the uptake. We're running master classes and GFA, so open sessions in all disciplines. And Bradley took our first session, the first live session, and it was really well attended. It was really. I was there and I was learning. So going back to that circle and that continuous learning. So it's nice that you enjoyed it as well.
Definitely.
So have you found that these sort of skills you've had to develop the skills needed to deliver a live session over lockdown?
I believe so, yes. And also I think doing the sessions with my own gymnasts helped me prepare.
Yes.
Masterclass session. I think if I just done the masterclass session without having experience of doing online sessions with my own gymnastics, I would have found it a lot more challenging.
Yeah, I can imagine. It is it is a massive learning curve, isn't it? This the online Zoom sessions, the blended learning as we're calling it, moving forward. Fantastic, thank you, Bradley. So Laura, if I can ask you, what's been your favourite part of the scholarship programme so far?
I've actually really enjoyed the interactions of the sessions which have included the Welsh national coaches, and hearing their experiences. It, you know, really opens your eyes to like hope of what you kind of want to aim for, and just understanding. And I don't know, it sounds stupid, but just having that interaction with them and having their experience shared to us, I think it's been really nice and really interesting.
Yeah, I think it's inspiring because obviously you're in the north, which logistically makes it very difficult for you to come down often. But I mean, you've got very good mentors up there, but then having that the time from our national coaches across all the disciplines, and learning from them. I know I find that invaluable myself, although not in the disciplines that you guys are in, but it is a nice learning experience. And it's that they did it, how did they do it, and how can I adapt what I do to get there, sort of thing. Fabulous, thanks Laura. And then finally Ella, on question 4, so what's been your favourite part of the scholarship programme so far?
My favourite parts have probably been learning more about myself personally as well, like all the webinars, I've took them into consideration. And then some of the Zoom sessions have taken me out of my comfort zone. So like when we had to have a one-on-one interaction with someone new. So I learned a lot about another person and myself more as well. So that's quite good.
Oh, okay. So very much like Laura and Bradley have touched on, that learning those new skills and pushing yourself a little bit further than you probably would have if we hadn't been in the pandemic that we're currently in, or coming out of now. Fabulous. And that learning about yourself, I think, going back to what Laura was saying, that's very important for understanding about the mental health and the emotional well-being of the gymnast that you're going to go on to coach. Fabulous. Thank you all 3 of you. So question number 5. So it's a bit of an, I think I probably know the answer to this from all of you, but if I can start with Ella this time, please. So how did you feel when you received the email telling that you'd been successful?
Well, initially I was quite shocked because I knew that lots of people had applied because it's such a good opportunity, and then I was really happy as well, like because I knew I was going to be able to work with so many people, and it's just really good. Yeah, fabulous. So Laura, if I can just pose that same question to you, how did it feel receiving that email?
So obviously super happy as expected, but also a bit of reassurance and acknowledgement that I'm deemed worthy of an opportunity like this, because as coaches we see potential in our gymnasts, but we kind of forget the potential of ourselves. So having been accepted onto this opportunity is just reassurance, like I'm doing a good job. So it was like boost of confidence really again, so
Yeah, absolutely right. And I think you just touched on something that Ellen mentioned earlier on. It's about that awareness of yourself and getting that I'm okay, and understanding that that's okay to feel like that yes, I'm what I'm doing is right and worthy, and I'm glad I've got this opportunity. So yeah, thank you, Laura. And then Bradley, please.
I was just very appreciative of the opportunity, and the Welsh Gymnastics see something in myself to help me progress, and they're willing to help me progress, and it's just eager to get started, really.
Yeah, and I suppose all 3 of you would echo that. You've done loads of work now over the lockdown, and you've already mentioned about you want the need to get back there and do face-to-face, and let's just get this moving now. It won't be long. So final question, how will you use what you've learnt so far? So Bradley, sorry, you were last. I'm going to go straight back to you now. So how will you use what you've learnt so to date on the scholarship programme?
Again, going back to what I said earlier about looking for the answer if you're unsure about anything or you want to progress yourself. I think I need to study a bit more with regards to the bigger skills.
Okay.
I've produced an under 10 Welsh champion, but if I want to produce an under 16 and a men's Welsh champion,
Yeah.
I need to be a bit more active in my own learning, and that's what I'm intending to do.
Yeah, fabulous. And I think this will give you that opportunity, like you've already pointed out. So yeah, brilliant. Thank you, Bradley. And then Laura, so if I can come to you, and so how will you use what you've learned so far on the scholarship programme?
Mainly start taking action to what we've done over the last 5-6 months. You know, at the moment it's all in our head and written on paper, but now we're starting going back to training and gyms. We can start applying what we've learned into our programs and stuff like that. So yeah, just starting to take the action with it now.
Oh, brilliant, brilliant. I mean, that's I think that's the next step for you guys, isn't it? Is you've done some of the learning, and like Bradley said, it's an ongoing thing, and Ella said about the cycle of learning, etc. But it is time now, I feel, for you guys, especially for you guys, because you've been given this opportunity, and the need to develop it further is you're ready and raring to go, aren't you? So fabulous, and to use what you've learned as well. So Ella, finally, how will you use what you've learned so far on the scholarship programme?
Well, I'm just gonna use like what I already know, and then ask more questions to about my mentor and things, and ask more questions in the gym, and look at how skills are taught and things, and just take all that into consideration as well.
Mm-hmm. Oh, well, thank you very much. So thank you all three of you. Thank you for coming today. It wasn't too painful, I hope. And on behalf of Welsh Gymnastics, and I'm sure our Welsh Gymnastics community, I'd like to wish you all the very best of luck in the coming months. Working with your mentors, working in the gym, back in your gyms, and using what you've taught. I think you're a shining example to, and good role models for our up and coming coaches and our coaches out there in other disciplines, particularly to look up to and to learn from now. So good luck and enjoy. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.